people. We are here. I'm super excited to be here with you again for another day of the virtual launch of the Evolution Effect. I am super excited to be here with you. If you are here with us, please type in chat where you are tuning in from so we can show you some love on the screen. We appreciate all of you who have supported us and have been so engaged in all of our sessions these past 24 hours. And there's more to come today. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Chanel Spencer. I'm the CEO of Maximum Evolution, and I help women to transform their lives by bringing their vision into fruition, and as well as helping them to build their own tables, because we are no longer waiting for a seat at anybody else's table. We are going to just go and build our own. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm super excited about this project. If you don't know, this is the Evolution Effect book launch. We have 20 authors who shared their stories of how they have broken patterns, overcame adversities, and have transformed their lives and stepped into their greatness. And it's been an amazing experience these past 24 hours in meeting all of our amazing co-authors and sharing their stories and bringing them onto this platform so that they can then introduce themselves to you. So today I have two amazing co-authors that are phenomenal. And you already know how I give it up. I let people introduce themselves. Okay. So first we have our amazing Miss Monica. Say hello to the beautiful people.
Hey, beautiful people. How are you? Good morning.
So I'm going to give you the floor. Say hello to the beautiful people.
Hello. My name is Monica Reed. I am one of the co-authors on this amazing project. I am a co-author, a speaker, and business owner. I am the founder of Her Creative Corner, the Entrepreneur Business Center. So the title of my chapter is Finding the Journey Back to Finding Me Again. And so I talk a little bit about my journey, my life, where the point in my life where I got to ask questions such as who am I, and really talk about what happened prior to that question that I had to ask myself in order to show up in the world the way that I do now. So I talk a little bit about in my chapter about my childhood. I talk a little bit about my teenage years and becoming a mom and becoming a wife, but ultimately losing my own identity. So I know that in this very chaotic world that we live in, we can get so caught up in the hustle and the bustle of life, wearing many hats for many people, but we often forget about ourselves. So it was at a point in my life where I had to say, well, who am I, right? Who am I? Who am I supposed to be? Who am I supposed to show up as in this world? So in the chapter, I talk about that, right? I talk about the things that I had to do to overcome the fear of rediscovering who I was, right? Because that's a whole nother journey. Once you answer the question who you are, what are you going to do now that you know who you are again? And I know for some people who have never walked through the journey of rediscovering who they are, it can sound really, really strange, but I promise you that once you do walk through that journey of rediscovering who you are and what makes you happy and living out your God divine assignment and purpose in life, you too will understand what it is that I'm talking about. So in that chapter, finding my way back to me again, or the journey back to me again, was really, really interesting. But it's something that I always encourage everyone to do in order to live a life that's full of joy, right? And full of love, and also to live out our divine purpose here in this world. So I'm really, really excited to even come to you to talk about this particular chapter, because I know that when things happen, especially now in 2020, where we are like, okay, what just happened, right? We have to tap back into who we are. And then for a lot of us who have never done such work or such personal development work, we felt stuck, right? When things happen, we feel stuck, but that's because we're not identifying our own selves or our creativity and who we are. So the shift wouldn't seem so bad if we just took the time to really do the work. So I love talking about this particular topic. I think that it's something that each one of us need to do. We all need to figure out who we are in this very, very huge world. But again, that's why I wanted to come and share my story. A lot of people will see where you are now and they'll see what you're up to in the world. But a lot of people also don't tap back into where you were and where you started. So I will always share the journey back to finding me again. So if you want to connect with me, please do so. I'm on all social media handles under Monica D as in David Reed. I like to classify the D as in determined to live out my God given assignment in this world. So again, that's Monica D Reed on Facebook and Instagram.
I love that. The D is for determined. Okay. That's what my one is. M is for, I don't know. We'll figure that out. Motivated. I like that.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. That was so cool. You said so many amazing nuggets. And I don't know. Listen, I gloat for my peoples. Okay. Like I love, but listen, I don't care. I gloat for, we are so modest sometimes. We're like, we just
who I am.
So let me tell you about Monica. Okay.
Really?
I met her actually through one of the Lisa Nickel events. And second of all, she does amazing collaboration projects. I was honored to have her on mine because I've been on 4 of yours at this point, and just keep them coming because they're amazing. And so I was like, excuse me, so I'm doing this. Are you joining? Yes, no, maybe so. And when she said yes, I was like, yes. And so she's a boss in that way. And let's not forget, because we go to Atlanta, right? I'm just saying.
Yes, we are going to.
I'm just saying. So she is the founder, the president, the CEO, the everything for Her Creative Corner. And let me tell you something. I went to the grand opening in Pennsylvania, and it was amazing. The people in the room, the engagement, the energy, the it just was such a beautiful thing to see. And her family, I was just like, oh my gosh, can you guys adopt me? I mean, I come with a package, but can you adopt me? They are just such a strong unit. I absolutely. Let's hope we got some comments coming in. We go to the comments in a second. I read the comments and I'll be responding to the comments on the live, and they don't even know what I'm talking about. But anyway, right. I'm so excited, and congratulations to you for all that you are building, the legacy that you're building. Your children are entrepreneurs. This is can you plug the kids? Plug the kids. Tell what the kids do.
So yes, my husband and I try to ensure that we are designing our own for our family. So we wanted to make sure that our kids were exposed to some things that we didn't have the opportunity to be exposed to. One of them being entrepreneurship. So with, not all of them will be entrepreneurs, but I just wanted to make sure that we expose them to the opportunity and for them to have a fair decision. So with my son, he has a apparel line. I'm very proud of him. That was birthed in the midst of the pandemic. It was an idea actually that he had when he was off in college, but he has his own apparel line. And then my daughter, who is 11, is also a time best-selling author. He actually was on a collaboration with I Am the Voice, our part 1 of I Am the Voice, and actually landed into Tiffany Haddish's hands on behalf of all the authors. So I'm really proud of her, and then also building out her own product line as well. My son has his coloring book and YouTube channel that will be starting soon, and he's only 6. So I'm excited. And then I have my daughter, who we have been brainstorming and just realized that she actually has her own event planning center that will be coming in the near future. Her business name is already filed and everything. She's had it on file for about 2 years now. So hopefully her grand opening will be 2021. So I'm excited.
Every single one of our children are entrepreneurs. Literally.
Yeah.
How amazing is that? Oh my God, I absolutely love it. I love, like, oh my God, congratulations. You
Thank you.
thank you. I love I succeeded in that shirt. It was so, it was so, when I saw it, I had to be a church. Like, I just love support up and
Thank you.
like it's literally you buying a piece of merchandise, you realize like that or come on the post, we share their post. Literally, like it's like entrepreneur's dream. You know what I mean? So if you want to support and show love to anybody that's out there just trying to live their dream and things happen for themselves, it doesn't take much to like something, to comment, to share it on your page.
Absolutely.
Buy something. You know what I mean? Don't like you're getting it free. Like, why are you being a bad fact? You really only go to great. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being so supportive in everything that it is that we do. It is not easy at all. And sometimes the entrepreneurial journey can seem a little lonely. But I thank God that I'm blessed with friends and a tribe and a community such as yourself who is always like, I'm there, let's go. So because it keeps us pushing forward. So thank you so, so much.
I've been saying for the past 6, 7, 8 months, whatever. I love to be surrounded by greatness, and there are people that pretend as if they are great, or pretend as if they're so authentic, and they want everybody to win, but you genuinely, like you really want to support and love on so many people, and I love that. I'm going to support by the same thing, because like you said, I know what it feels like to be feeling like nobody understands, feeling alone, and having all these thoughts and dreams in your head and wanting to bring them to fruition, but not knowing what to do or how to do. Like you said, having right,
Thank you.
just things. So, you know what I mean? I give you a heart.
Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Just had some time before we came on live. I was like, listen, my self care was like, no, day, girl. I'm listening to my body when it tells me, girl, have to see. So you are absolutely right. Great job.
Thank you, Dee.
See, it says self-love should be our first love, so we can give love to others. Absolutely. It took me years to learn that. I was giving over love to everybody. I'm getting by myself. Come put myself every time. You done the same thing. But literally, I was everyone for myself. I'm on board right now on the line. What happened now? You know what I mean? So you are absolutely right. Figuring out our purpose is important.
And absolutely. DT.
I like that. Come on!
Let's go. It's gonna be phenomenal. I'm excited.
I know it is. I know it is. I just don't know it is. So yes, please come. I love it. Together and really success. I literally believing in their dreams, not putting them down. It just makes them something. Don't come to me, but not many people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Now, if I could add to that whole kidpreneur thing, it really was about just tapping into who they are instead of trying to force the kids to be what society thinks that they should be. Like my son, he has a lot of energy, right? He loves video games, he has a lot of energy. There's no sitting him down. There's none of that extra stuff. So what I decided to do was just to take that energy and just to shift it into something, into what he's interested in, right? And then add all the different learnings instead of trying to force him to be something that he's not, right? Just really adapt to who he is and then adding structure to it. So that's kind of how, like, even with his YouTube channel, how it came about. And then my husband just happened to be good friends with someone who we classify as his, can classify him as his mentor. So again, just connecting them and meeting them where they are, and building off of that. So I think that's a lot where the kidpreneur is. Too often we're too busy trying to make them be something that we dreamed that they would be, instead of adapting to who they are and allowing them to grow.
Like literally, I feel like somebody said this back. Somebody still have can you hear that back for me?
I feel a little, I hear some.
Really? Oh, come on, technology. You still hear that back? Yes.
I still hear it a little.
Is it like really bad, or I get away with it?
I would try to do something.
Oh man, come on. All right.
It's all right. Keep on going.
So really quick. So I want you. I don't know. Technology is not my friend today. Come on, technology. That is great. That is great. All right. So I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna have Chenequa come on and introduce herself, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Good morning.
Yours.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chenequa Terrell. I'm the author for the chapter Lessons in Flight for this wonderful anthology. What my chapter is about is finding love and finding the courage to face it. I go into aspects of my childhood and just going into my parents' relationship and how it had an effect on myself and the things that I had to do to make sure those issues didn't arise in my own relationships. It's about breaking a generational curse and about having the strength to love. I am a mother of two beautiful boys, Baron and Bishop. They're 10 and 3, fifth grade and preschool. But, we're in the COVID pandemic, so it's from home learning for now. I'm wife to Wesley. I'm originally from San Diego, now living in Casa Arizona. So that's pretty much about what my chapter is about. You can connect with me on Instagram at CC Writer or Facebook at Chenequa Terrell. I'm not sure if she's back yet. But another.
Can you hear me now? So I sound
yes.
better?
Yeah, that's perfect.
No, I'm just like, come on, technology. Please be my best friend. Like, I love you, technology.
You know how it is.
Anything bad I said about you yesterday, I take it back. I promise.
Just get through this, and then it's back on.
Well, I'm super excited for you to be on this project. We actually met via Instagram. Social media is like the best ever in life, right? It connects you to so many people so quickly. And for you, I just absolutely love your story and who you are as an individual. And I'm super proud of all of that you have transformed and took ownership of, and being who you are and developing who you are as an individual, and in sharing your story and the things that you've experienced. It's so powerful when we can have backstories and things that really could have impacted us and took us out. And like Katia says in her chapter, knocked down but not knocked out. It's so amazing to have all of you on this project who have gone through so many different things that could have literally made you be like, you know what? I give up.
Right.
Decision not allowing your past experiences. You know what I mean? And we don't get to choose our family members. We don't get to choose our parents. We don't get to choose, like, you know what I mean? We get to choose our spouses. But sometimes they're a little crazy. That's another conversation.
Right. It doesn't always work out.
Listen, their family is so beautiful. I love it. But for you to, overcome all of those different things and to be an amazing mom and to be an amazing wife, it's just such a beautiful thing. Yes. Do I sound better now, y'all? Can y'all tell me if I sound better now, please?
Yes,
Because
this
it's
is great now.
Thank you.
It's great now.
All right, we're gonna bring Monica back into the screen. Hello, Monica, darling. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yes, loud and clear. Thank you guys. I love you. First of all, shout out to you guys for letting me know I sound a little crazy. Because everybody listen, there's feedback. Look, I love it. She said I'm here for the young entrepreneurship. Absolutely. We should teach our children to own. Absolutely. So I just met Monica online through a song she shared. I'm crossing over that song.
I think I ordered something too. Lord Jesus.
What happened?
No, I was reading her comment. Yes, we met through that song. I'm gonna actually send that CD to her. I'm gonna send that to her.
Mercy says Chanel is great. I try, girl. I try. And she said, see, thank you guys for letting me know, because then I know how to kind of figure out what's happening behind the scenes. Because to me, I sound perfect. So I appreciate listen, I'm like, well, man. So I appreciate you guys for telling me. She said, oh, she's saying hi to people in the comments. I cannot. It's hilarious. She responded back. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
He said it's bad.
All right, like, girl, let's get it together. Mercy said, hey, Lucia said, you good now. Thank you. Yes, loud and clear. Thank you, guys. See, that's why I love my people. They make sure I'm together. I appreciate it. She said, when you use correctly, you can find great people. Absolutely. Absolutely. She said she loves your chapter title. Yes. She said, I'm good now. All right. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I feel like the connection point with both of your chapters are literally talking about how you're getting back to yourself, how you literally have experienced different things and have now found who you are, or have shed the traumas and the things that you've experienced. So what advice would you give to someone that you feel is going through similar situations? Anybody take the floor.
Okay, I'll go. Not to be afraid to do the hard work. That it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be easy. But you can't grow without introspection, and it's a must. It's not, like I said, it's not easy. It's super hard, and it can be super emotional depending on that trauma. But you have to revisit it if you don't want to repeat it.
Right, you're absolutely right. Monica, do you have anything you want to add?
So I always use my quote, which is also listed in mentioned in the book, which is, if you don't know who you are, the world won't know you either. And I say that because how you show up in the world is how people respond to who you are. So it's important for you to identify who you are first, so that you can set those boundaries of how they're supposed to respond and treat you. So I love to just go based off of that quote.
That's so powerful. I feel as though oftentimes we sometimes sit back and like, oh, I don't know why this person treated me this way, or I don't know why this happened. And sometimes you have to self-reflect. Do you hear feedback from me? Sometimes you have to self-reflect and understand that it's probably sometimes the energy that you're putting out. Right?
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's also on the flip side, a lot of us get caught up on those who left. But once you realize what your assignment was in their life, or what your position was in their life, it's easier for you to accept those, because a lot of times we hold on naturally, especially as women, naturally hold on to people because we have such a huge heart, right? But we don't realize that that person was only supposed to be there for a season. I've had many of friends that I showed up on day one, and I poured all into them. Well, maybe my assignment was to pour all into them for that season. It wasn't to take them along. Right? But we get so caught up in the fact that this person's not around and that person's not around, but they were actually just sent for the season. So, but only when you know who you are you able to identify those people and the reason why they were put into your life.
And that's so true in how we have to understand our own selves, our own worth, so that we can then show up for others. Because if not, that's how we literally start to do the seeking approval, looking for love, trying to fill a void through individuals that aren't necessarily good for us, but we don't understand that because we don't understand our own self-value. So you're absolutely right in that regard. And so can you share a little bit more about each of your stories and what you have gone through and what you have overcome? I'll give you the floor, Monica, and then Chenequa, you can add.
Me first? I was like, so just a quick story. I became a mom I want to say I now say my last year of high school, probably about the week before we started school. I was in 11th grade and I found out that I was pregnant with my daughter. And I just knew that, okay, wow, like what do you need to do? You need to reset somewhere. Like what happened, right? But instead of getting nervous, what I did was I wind up going into the school and just saying, hey, I know, and I was that aware at a very young age, but let me just be completely honest. If I continue on through this school year, 9 times out of 10, returning back to finish out 12th grade probably won't happen. What can I do now? So I pushed through the entire 11th grade year, doing my 11th grade and 12th grade year at the same time, right? Going to nursing school and working. And at that moment, a lot of people would have given up, right? But I was just determined to finish out, completely graduate and everything. Well, right out of high school, I wind up becoming, now a mom. And then I had my son and then got married, right? So things were moving very, very quickly for me, where I was very happy. I am still very happy, right? With the way that things panned out. But at the same time, when you're sitting in that moment, especially around 17, 18 years old, you're like, oh my God, my life is over. But I had to really push through those things. But I was so caught up in being a mom, being a wife, being the great of all great in the position that I was in, that I did not realize that every single day I was losing a piece of me. Right. I was losing my own identity. I was losing those dreams that I would write down in 6th and 7th grade, and those goals and who I'm going to become and all those different things. All those things started to fade away as I got older. And then I want to say maybe about 6 years ago, I kind of just had like this big breakdown. Actually, it was leading up to it, right? Because there's many different incidents that happen along the way that will give you clues that you need to press pause, right? But about 5, 6 years ago, I was like, I can't take it no more. I can't take it because I want to find out who I truly am. And that's where that who am I came about, because it does not make me selfish. It does not make me less than a mom. It does not make me less than a wife. And so I just went on this journey and really just isolated myself from the rest of the world and the rest of the people as much as I can who are already in my life. It didn't mean that they were bad people. It's just that I needed a place to silence the noise, right? I needed to go to a place. So I did something drastic. I moved out of state, right? And I walked, and a lot of people will be like, well, why'd you have to do all that? Sometimes you're giving people too much easy access to you, right? Sometimes you're just sitting here, you're always picking up the phone. I know me, when people call, I'm like, let me call them right back. Let me call them right back. Let me call them right back. So I had to tell myself it was okay to call somebody back later. It was okay to call them back next week. It was okay because but that people pleasing heart, or that guilt of having to be there all the time was just really draining me. Right. And it wasn't allowing me the room that I needed in order to figure out who I really wanted to become, or who I already was. So I did something really drastic. I moved away. Right. I had an amazing time. I was surrounded by the people who I knew I had to be surrounded by, my husband and my children. And that was enough for me, right? That was enough for me to figure out who I am on this earth. And I knew that I had a divine assignment here on this earth, but because I didn't know who I was, I couldn't identify that assignment. So that's what kind of led to, even with my chapter, like that journey back to finding me again, because now I live a life that includes my family. but it's not for my family, if that makes sense. So I wanted to make sure that, again, I'm answering my assignment here on earth, but at the same time, including the people that I love, right? But we have to be careful not to live for other people. So that's what that was about.
Absolutely. Can you
Yes,
hear
we
me?
can.
Okay, absolutely. You're absolutely right. And you, oh gosh, you touched on so many powerful, powerful, powerful pieces. And we're gonna get right back to that. We're gonna Chenequa the floor and say, and we're gonna get like you said so many points, and especially the
Yeah,
access to you.
that's a
Lord,
huge thing.
your space, your energy is so important. And I said earlier, I have 4 file cabinets for people. Keep playing. You end up in the fourth one. The fourth one, you Casper. You can be standing right next to me and I don't see you. So you are absolutely right in taking inventory and understanding that people, to have access to you is a privilege. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what you are. I don't care if you're the CEO, if you the jet, like whatever you are, to have access to you as an individual, it is a privilege. And so when Kyle said my presence isn't a present, listen, he was not talk the facts. Okay. Shaniqua.
Yeah.
Okay. In my chapter, I talk about. I start off with my parents' marriage. Um, they divorced when I was 8, and all sorts of trauma comes from that. From being a product of divorced parents, and me and my brother just going through that and navigating the world shifting and moving in with my grandmother, and how just changing from that traditional nuclear family to having such a strong maternal presence was another, but it was a beautiful thing. You know, a lot of my strength comes from being raised by my grandmother and my mother, and just the inconsistencies from being with my father had made me question my own value and internalizing those things. So it took some time to realize where all my guards would come and my triggers of, I called it lessons in flight because of the fright versus flight response. And for me, that trigger was love. So I would run whenever anything seemed like it could possibly lead to that kind of devastation because my mom was blindsided from the destruction of her marriage. So I didn't want that for myself, and I didn't want to have to repeat that. So it wasn't until I met my now husband when I realized that I was doing some of the same things that she did in her marriage and the same things my dad did. And we had to sit down and have a conversations about our our own triggers and our own trauma, and that mine didn't take precedent over his. And so it had to be a coming together of hearts and minds to say, hey, look, this is troubling for me. This is troubling for me. And we worked kind of together through it all. Things that I had already thought that I had faced and overcame, I didn't. So being, making the decision to fully love him allowed me to see some of the things that I was doing, and gave he he made me feel safe, and that was something that I didn't have, and the security gave me the faith to just go full on and try to reconnect with my dad more, and to just find out my own worth, because it wasn't contingent upon even my husband or my dad anymore. I'm my own woman. And I, instead of continuing to make excuses like, oh, I'm not going to do this because it's my parents, it had to start with me. It's my life. I had to take ownership. And if I wanted love, and if I wanted more, and if I wanted a family, I had to look at myself and be prepared to do what was necessary to cultivate it and to keep it from going down the path that I didn't want. That's what it's about.
The word you said was ownership. Ownership of, like, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So the key word that you said was ownership. And
Yes.
you know, like I said earlier, we don't have the option to choose who our parents are, who our family is, right? But we have we have the decision to say, I'm not going to allow those experiences to have control over who I am, because it can. And if you don't understand that, like you said, I didn't realize my triggers. I didn't realize this. I didn't realize that. And I didn't realize I was doing the same behaviors that my parents were. And you realizing that and then making the conscious decision, like, I need to change that. That's you breaking generational cycles right there.
Yep.
So do you understand how powerful that is? I mean, there are people that are about 62 going on 78 that still, still are doing the woe is me and what happened to me in 1942. They probably want to laugh. I don't know. I'm not doing math. But you see what I'm saying? And so it's so important for us to understand that, yes, we all have a past. We all have gone through so many different things in different ways. Like your experience, we could have similar experiences, but how it translates for you and how it translates for you is going to be two different things. You know what I'm saying? So I commend you for truly making that decision and taking true ownership and not doing the blame game, because we could do that too, right? And so it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
And for a while I did.
Right? No, absolutely.
They were like that, so it's no wonder why I'm guarded.
Mm-hmm.
That could have gone on forever, but where's the fulfillment and it's an empty life if I'm only basing it on my mother and my father's relationship. I had to realize it had nothing to do with me, their marriage. You know what I mean? Their relationship between each other was separate from me, and it took a long time to figure it out.
Oh man. Right, exactly. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. Let's get into these comments, and then I'm gonna have you guys say any additional words that you would like to share with the audience. Give me 1 second. She said, I'm happy to be a part of the project, a family away from home. I love that. She said, I love y'all. This pandemic stirred up some gifts, and we are working hard now so we can be ready for the greater shift after it's over. Yes, I love it. Oh, that was me. She said, yes, same for me. I feel you. Virtual connections now will turn into powerhouse in-person events soon. Yeah, listen, I want to have a party. I want to have a whole party. I was like, I can't wait. Q1, I'm speaking into existence. Q1, I want to have a whole party. I need everybody to come. All right, not everybody, but you know what I'm saying. When many stop building, we are still putting in the work and we gain from it. We use this season for the greater good of our future. Absolutely. Lavinia. Hey, Lavinia. How you doing, sunshine? She said, absolutely agree. I don't know what she agreeing to, but she agrees. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Katia said, I had to stop VIP access to people who wouldn't even show up for me ever.
Now that right there is a word. Let me tell you.
Say louder for the people in the back. Okay. She said, I had to get great at setting boundaries and recognizing the user spirits. I stopped allowing so many to benefit from my great heart. Absolutely. Listen. I'm telling you. Oh, that was so good. I want to leave that on the screen, but it's blocking your face. So what kind of words do you have, Chenequa, for the audience?
That you are stronger than you even think you're capable of. And all you have to do is go through the fire, go through the trauma, go through the emotions. But it happened to you because of who you're supposed to be and because of what you're supposed to give to the world. And it had to be you. It has to be you who goes through these things, because no one else will take that same take from it and give back what you can. So just be positive and love.
Yes, it's feel, deal, and heal. Okay.
Yeah.
You have any final words, Monica?
I do. When I think about the journey, I talk a lot about the journey, right? But when I think about the journey, a lot of people don't want to go back to do the work. So I just really want to change the perspective when it talks about going back. People always say, don't turn back, don't go back, don't look back, all those different things. But it's imperative to our future for that we do that. So I always talk about the journey when you do go back. Make sure that we take back the baggage that we brought along, drop that bad boy off and pick up the gems that we left behind. The gems, I mean, but there's some people probably in your past that should be in your future, right? But we left them behind because of insecurities and heartbreaks and not understanding who we are. So a huge part of finding out who you are first is so that you can go back, drop off the baggage and pick up the gems. Some of the gems are the characteristics that's going to keep you pushing forward. Some of the creativity, the God-given creativity that he given to you that you left behind. So the journey is not always hard to go back to figure out who you are. You just have to understand who you are to give you the strength to do that journey back.
Yeah. That part, like that is so. Oh my gosh, like you just always coming with the
Just saying.
Listen, like,
look, that's that work. Let me tell you, and that's why I say you can truly understand or hear when somebody has actually done the work. So really be careful about who's guiding you, Shana. I just really love the fact that you are leading others, because the person who is guiding you and giving you strength and encouraging you to do the same thing had to have come from their own walk and their own experience. So be careful for those who are around you just saying, oh yeah, girl, you just got to do this and you just got to do that. Be wise, use discernment, and surround yourself with a community of people who understand what it really looks like, because it won't be easy. That's it.
That part. Right,
that's it.
Like that is, you're so what? My kid is in the back, Lord. Anyway, she is absolutely right in the sense of making sure you have the right mentors, the right people, the right support, because not people talk the talk, but they're not walking any walk at all. Like not even with a cane, not even with a bike, not even with a, like they're not doing anything that they're talking about. So it's super important for you to be very, very, like you said, to discern who you have in your circle, because not everybody is for you and not everybody wants to see you win, but they act like they do. So listen, sometimes you just got to listen and see and stop talking for like 5 minutes and see what's really happening around you.
And that is true.
Listen, we're gonna put this comment back up for you to read one more time before I put this trail on, because this was fire. Okay, listen. Look, I had to stop VIP access to people who wouldn't even show up for me ever. Okay, so if you are showing up for people that are not showing up for you,
hello, stop.
Okay, like stop. Okay? Stop. Exactly.
Today, right now.
Make sure you set your boundaries. Make sure you listen. You have to recognize who is for you and who is not. And if you can love them, but sometimes people don't need the VIP access to you. So set your boundaries. You can listen. We have associates, we have friends, we have loved ones. Put them in the right category so they don't impact your life in a negative way. So make sure you set your boundaries. Make sure you pick the right people to have VIP access to you, because you just never know. And there are some amazing people, I promise you. I used to sit like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be around like-minded people like me. I wish I could find somebody that's like this. I wish I could find somebody like this. And as I asked her and I posted it, God was like, here. Literally. So I promise you there are the right people in this world. You just have to take the time to feel, deal, and heal so that your heart can be open to them. Sometimes you're not ready for those people to walk into your life.
Wow.
Listen, because sometimes you have the right people the wrong time. So make sure you are together so that you can welcome the right people into your life. And that's my little spiel. Let's get into this trailer. Make sure you guys don't go anywhere. And I heart you guys out. We'll be back at 2:00. Okay, beautiful people? 2:00. 2:00. 2:00. Yes. Let's get into this trailer before we go. purifier. It's purifier. So thank you all for tuning in and being engaged. We appreciate all of the love and the support. I heart all of you. I heart all of my co-authors. This has been a phenomenal experience and amazing conversations. So if you want to continue being here with us, we'll be back at 2:00. And if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me at Chanel Spencer Now on Instagram and Facebook, and my website, www.readytotransformnow, because I'm all about now action, not later action. No more excuses. So go now. And if you want to get your copy, go to www.evolutioneffectbook.com and grab your copy too, so you can hear these phenomenal and read these phenomenal stories. So I appreciate all of my amazing co-authors for all of their love, all of their transparency, and sharing their amazing stories. And I'll see you later. Bye, beautiful people.